Hello everyone, it's vmcampos. It's hard to believe, but a month ago was San Diego Comic-Con 2017. It feels like so long ago, and yet it was only a month ago. Because Comic-Con is still about the comics, for me at least. I got a few comics, and here's one of them. Let's take a look at this vintage Tom and Jerry comic. Now, I love Tom and Jerry. They are a hilarious classic cartoon, and I grew up watching them, as probably most of you did, either the vintage cartoons from the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, or maybe some of the newer ones from the last 10 or 20 years. Well, they had a comic book back in the day, and I got a copy of one right here. This was published by Dell, a company that no longer publishes comics, but is totally famous in the world of classic comic collecting. Now, I won't tell you how much I paid for this. You can try to guess, but here's some clues. This is 10 cents. This comic cost 10 cents back in the day. If you go out and buy a brand new comic nowadays, it's going to be, what, $2.95 and up? Commonly $3.99. So this is 10 cents. On the cover, we've got Tom, looking as angry as usual, Jerry, relaxing, and Nibbles, the little gray mouse that I think is the nephew of Jerry. And here they are at the beach. So, admittedly, the book is not in the best condition. You can see the corners are dinged up. You've got folds on various parts of the cover. Got some chipping over here. So, it's seen better days, but when we reveal how old this book is, you'll see it's complete. So I'm not a grader. I've never been really good at it, but I'm going to say this is like a 5.0 or something. Leave some comments and tell me your own grade as we look through it. So, opening it up, the first thing we have here is a really cool ad for 7-Up soda. It's a little poem, and it's going to be revealed right here what year this book is from. 1957. Little Red and the Crazy Mixed Up Wolf. 1957 version. And it's got these beautiful vintage style of art. Look at the wolf right there. Look at Granny. Look at Red. And so it's basically the story of Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, a hep chick, called Red for short, was walking through the woods to her grandmother's ranch house. Red was taking her for a carton of 7-Up, etc., the classic story, and then in the end, "Don't be a crazy mixed-up wolf, let her out and you can both have some," said Red. "Yes, ma'am," said the wolf, and they all drank 7-Up happily ever after. So, copyright 1957, this 7-Up company. Nothing does it like 7-Up. So, classic ad. Then the actual book starts. So, this has got a Tom and Jerry story where Jerry and Nibbles, hey, look at that, they're talking. And this is different from the classic cartoons. They never talked. But I guess they have to because, I don't know, I guess they wanted kids to actually read something. They didn't have to pantomime it all. The indicia down here at the bottom's got some interesting information, such as this is Volume 1, number 156, July 1957. So this book is 60 years old. It was 10 cents back in 1957. And back then, if you wanted a subscription, you could pay, it says right there, US and Canada, $1.20 per year, or foreign subscriptions, $2.20. So the art of the book is a little bit different than the usual Tom and Jerry style. It's what you would call off-model. It's a little bit different. Not so much, but that shot right there, for example, that drawing, that reminds me of their classic style. But, Jerry and Nibbles over here don't quite look the same. And Tom looks pretty good. So it's a fun story. Hijinks ensue. Congratulations, Thomas. Your place is spanking clean. Speaking of spanking, yipes, we're being pulled in too. We get captured by the vacuum. Outside stuff happens. Tom's on a bike, trashes the garden, etc. There's a salad that gets made in the cement mixer. That's kind of some fun action right there. And then at the very end, we're clear at the bottom of this mess. Well, here are some tools. Start digging. Smack. This isn't bad. Chomp, crunch. So Tom's eating salad? What's wrong with that picture? And what's even worse is here's Tom triumphant with Nibbles and Jerry on a seesaw, I guess. So where's the ultra-violence from the classic cartoons, I'd ask you. Then we go on to the other story, Big Spike and Little Tyke. So those are the bulldogs from those Tom and Jerry cartoons, but I could have sworn they were gray, and here they're brown. And then there's a goat. Hello, my name is Tyke. You must be our new neighbor. My name's Dingaling. Har har. So stuff happens on that one too. There's Spike and Tyke, and there's a kid, and Spike's a little wacky. And basically then he has to eat grass, and then he's his old self again. Spike seems to be his old self again. Get out of here. The grass sure put the pep in pop. The next page features a story. Wasn't expecting that the first time I read through it, but this is Busy Little Bee. So there's a little bit of art, and then there's a story. Speaking of the art, no one is credited. No artists, pencilers, inkers are credited throughout the whole book, not even the writer of this piece here. So it's a few paragraphs of a story. The summer rain had dripped slowly to an end, and the sun was beaming warmly on a bright, clean world. So that's kind of cool. You could see the fun cartoon stories and then also read something with a little bit more depth, perhaps. Next up is Barney Bear with Fuzzy and Wuzzy. I don't think I know who these characters are. I kind of have in mind Barney Bear, but not Fuzzy and Wuzzy. It's these, I guess, classic proto-furry characters. They wear pants, have kind of cool hair, kind of cute drawings. After we sell our eggs, let's fix up Charlie's stall, eh, Fuzzy? Okay, Wuzzy. And there's a horse. The horse can think, but it's not an animal like the other animals that wear clothing. Is that what makes them intelligent, that they wear clothing, whereas the other animals are still primal? So it's a cool pose, good action. Whoosh. If I could sell the horse for enough money, I could make it. No, don't sell the horse. And then there's a human character there, so we've got bear characters, horses, humans. What kind of crazy mixed up world is this? And then that one ends. Well, he doesn't have to kick my truck every time we come to a stop. He thinks you're still driving in your sleep, Uncle Barney. Next up is this Chip and Dale ripoff. Wuff the Prairie Dog. Running into Ungrand Canyon slowed Charlie, but he'll eventually overtake us, Wuff. Not if we leave the same way we came in, Sammy. So there's Sammy and Wuff, I guess, the Prairie Dogs. Chip and Dale ripoff, I say. So there's a wolf over here. I like the style of the wolf. Looks classic. These two look a little weird, especially him. That wolf looks cool. There's a little armadillo. Quiet, you little lumpheads. It's the Armadillo Kid, the most wanted outlaw. So he sticks him up. Sheriff Possum and his posse are coming. I will hide here, inside, quick. They are passing by. And, yep, it's Armadillo Bandito. They get the best of him, and then there's Sheriff Possum coming to save the day. So long, fellas. We'll return the pots later. Take your time, Sheriff. Haha, the sheriff is taking their pot. And then there's the wolf again. They're bound to come out and go home when it gets dark. Those termites can't stand chilly night air. But the joke's on him. Brr, chatter. Here's another Tom and Jerry cartoon. So for 10 whole cents, you get like 4 stories plus that text. Really great deal. So look at Tom's expression right there. He is PO'd. So on this one, he's mostly thinking. He's just thinking throughout this whole one. That's interesting. Look at that. That's a great action pose right there. Catching that fish. There he is, circling around my hook. Wow. What does a cat need with a fishing line? Just use your claws, Tom. We'll all have to stop fishing, Tom. There's no more room on the wall for them. That's funny. And then the book ends with Dad and Mother too. Read why Daisy is the right gun for early training and fun. Since 1888, Daisy air rifles have used the same safer spring-type action, the safer short range, the safer low factory limited power. So here you go, Junior's first gun. Now it's kind of interesting because this is an equal opportunity company because you've got brother and sister, and they include mother too. But look at that classic 50s style of art and how they lovingly render the gun. They're drawn pretty well too. We've got some magazines, free 32-page gun book, 20-page club brochure, and catalog. And then some amazing classic Kodachrome photography with all of those classic air rifles. Check out the prices. The number 94, $8.95. The 25, $9.95. The high roller, the number 98 for $13.95 US dollars. That's this one up here. Mail today. Daisy Manufacturing Company, Department A637, Plymouth, Michigan, USA. So cool vintage ad. There were only 2 ads in this comic compared to comics nowadays that there's an ad every other page. So 4 stories, a text story, 2 ads for 10 cents. And lastly, the back page. This one baffled me when I saw it. Juicy Fruit Gum Safety Quiz. Have some fun. See if you can tell what's wrong with these pictures. So basically identify what's going on these pictures and what's wrong about them. And again, classic 50s illustrative style. So basically you guess, well, this kid shouldn't be jumping into the rocks, and this kid shouldn't be drowning his brother, and this kid shouldn't be happily saying help. Then you look below here, upside down, and it says, ducking another boy. Ducking, sure. Diving in shallow water near rocks. Fake calling for help. So this ad is telling you not to do things wrong, like this little pyromaniac over here lighting fires, and this kid's gonna get electrocuted. And what's the idea for juicy fruit gum? Because then they tie it all together right here. Here's another right answer. Chew swell-tasting juicy fruit gum after every meal. The good, natural chewing helps keep teeth clean. Well, never mind the sugar. Remind your mom to bring some home. Wrigley's Juicy Fruit. Looks the same as it was back in the day. So that's the final ad there. Again, classic art. I love that style. Now this ad makes no sense, but it's that gum is still around. So there it is. We took a look at this classic Tom and Jerry comic from 1957. Cover price 10 cents. 4 stories, text, minimal ads, classic artwork. And I got it at San Diego Comic-Con 2017. Guess how much it cost? Write in the comments what you think it cost, or any comments or questions about the book. I hope you enjoyed this blast from the past, this classic 60-year-old comic book from San Diego Comic-Con. This is VM Campos. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.